News now on Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis.
We are following a massive 3-alarm fire at an apartment complex in downtown Memphis right now off Danny Thomas. This apartment complex is under construction, so fortunately there was nobody living inside at the time.
Yeah, we're taking a live look at all angles of this massive fire. Fox 13's live team coverage is going to bring you the latest. You saw Shelby Sansone there working hard at the scene. We'll check in with her. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Ernie Freeman. Fox 13 is live on this Friday morning. Today is May 3rd.
And I'm Valerie Calhoun. We have tens of thousands of people extra in the Mid-South here for the Beale Street Music Fest. A lot of people involved, a lot of traffic issues, but let's go straight to that massive fire right now where Fox 13 Shelby Sansone joins us live. You're there on Martin Luther King Boulevard between the FedEx Forum and Danny Thomas. The flames have died down a bit, but we're still seeing a lot.
Guys are still working really hard out here. I can go ahead and show you what's going on. You can see that they're still putting a lot of water on this fire, but when it comes to flames, those have been put out towards the top. Now, when you're looking at that third story, that is where I'm seeing the most fire at this moment, but it's a lot less than what we saw about an hour ago. Now, I just spoke to a guy who is supposed to be putting in cabinets today at this complex. Now, he says it's actually really lucky that no one was in there this morning because usually there's painters, there's electricians, and of course people installing cabinets and furniture in there, and that could have caused a lot of people to be hurt. Thankfully, no one has been hurt out here today. Now, I spoke to a firefighter from another department a few minutes ago. He tells me this is really hard work, but when it comes to how they attacked this fire, they have done a really good job. Only one building has been damaged because of this, and there are several different buildings when it comes to this apartment complex. And because it is right in the middle of the city, a small ember could have made the fire so much bigger and could have spread to other buildings, but that did not happen because firefighters are attacking this from all different angles. Now, this is very hard work for these guys out here this morning. I have seen them take off their masks, and you can just see sweat all over their foreheads as they have been working really hard. I'm going to continue talking to people out here, see how they're feeling right now that no one has been hurt, but they are still working to get this fire out. Reporting live from downtown Memphis, Shelby Sansone, Fox 13 News. I'm going to go ahead and send it off to Alexa. She's going to tell you what's going on the other side and also more about this complex.
This morning is, of course, firefighters battling this massive fire, but we've also seen firefighters constantly being checked. We have paramedics checking other firefighters' vitals, their blood pressure, all that, so they can make sure that when they go back to fight these flames, they are okay to do so. We know that no firefighter was hurt when battling the fire this morning. Shelby was also talking about crews that were supposed to be working on this development today as it is set to open, I should say, in fall of 2019. No workers were inside the building when this fire started. They have been battling this for about 2 hours, maybe even more now. At first, firefighters tried to attack it from the inside and quickly realized they weren't going to be able to do that. We have about 3 trucks with aerial capabilities that have those waterways lifted up, and they are continuing to shoot down water, and even we have people on the ground shooting up water at all angles of this building trying to put out this fire. We had seen humongous flames earlier, but luckily that has now settled down, and we are seeing just a lot of smoke rise from the building. Like we've been saying, the building is L-shaped. The fire has been contained to that one building. I was speaking with someone a little earlier that says that they worked on the building, and the primary damage and where they believe everything kind of that right area of the building was the leasing office. They say that part where you could see just those beams, that was the leasing office of the building, and that leasing office had about 8 stories above it of homes. So this complex set to open in fall of 2018. A lot of people were hoping this was going to revitalize the area. This affordable apartment complex was set to have 200 units in it. Like Shelby has been reporting all morning, a lot of the structure has thankfully been able to be saved. So as crews continue to fight the flames, we're hoping that even more of the structure is going to be okay and that not much of it continues to fall down. We are live in downtown Memphis. Val and Ernie, back to you.
Yeah, nice job out there, Alexa. Let's go to our Sky Fox shot if we can, because firefighters are zeroing in on this corner of the building there, and I guess that's where that L shape takes place, and they are intensely focusing on that part, trying to control that fire right there. We see these firefighters on the roof. See that corner right there?
Look to the left where one of the firefighters is. There is another fire that is broken out to the left. It looks like they're trying to tamp that down with shovels or something.
It looks like they're trying to stop it from spreading to this section of that L-shaped building.
And it looks like they're failing over here to the left. This corner of this part of the building, we're seeing flames there. We see a bunch of firefighters, thank you, on the roof. And over on that corner to the left, new flames that appear to be on this part of the building now.
We can't see it, but it looks like from how all of those firefighters are assembled on that roof and on the right side there near the edge of that building, that fire is picking up in intensity inside that structure, the part we can't see. And they're trying to control it before it spreads to this section where they're on top of the roof. Okay,
they told us to look at another live view. Okay, here, this is one of our shots that we have. Clearly,
that's inside.
Flames, intense flames in this building still. Now, this is from the ground. We're looking up at what is a 4-story building of apartments that were being built. This is what we're seeing here. Part of that building has already crumbled, and it seems to have burned out on one side. This is what's happening right now. And we go back to our Skyfox camera on the left there. All of the firefighters there are now trying to put out this new flame on this part of the building, which we had not seen until the last few minutes, the fire coming onto this side of that building.
And they have water going from at least 3 different angles that we can see from here. There's a guy on the ladder. It's not a ladder, but that lift there. He's hitting it from that way, the other side of the building there, and these guys on the roof. So we see 3 angles of them trying to knock that fire down from that Skyfox camera there. This is live right now in downtown Memphis.
And folks, if you're just joining us, we have a massive apartment fire in downtown Memphis. It broke out around 5:45 this morning. The good news is there was no one inside at the time. Memphis Fire telling us there are no injuries. At this point, it's under construction. An affordable apartment complex set to open this fall, and at least one of the whole buildings there has been destroyed by fire. There are still active flames. It's a very active situation still, more than 2 hours later.
And the action right now is what's happening on the roof of that building and on the side of that building, on the in the front of that building. Yes, because the fire is going on the interior. We just saw it from another shot, and they're trying to stop it from spreading. The firefight is growing in intensity right now. Look at all those firefighters on that roof.
This is where we saw a couple of firefighters an hour ago, and they seem to have no urgency. There is urgency now. It appears they tamped down the flames in that corner, but they are working together to make sure it doesn't pop up more. What we don't know at this point is if the fire is on the interior of this section of the building. I don't see smoke coming out of the windows, but I do see the firefighter on the right that's by himself there on the corner. Right. You see who I'm talking about? Is almost engulfed by smoke.
Look at all that smoke.
He has another firefighter who's come to his aid there. This is a urgent situation, folks, right now. Firefighters are trying to contain that fire to the one section of the building. They're doing their best, but it looks like the flames have been so intense and so massive that this section of that apartment complex may be getting, oh, good, there's a better shot, some of the flames now and some damage there.
And we just got word from the fire department. They have 200 firefighters on the scene fighting this fire. The fight to save this section of that building is happening right now on this roof. An intense fight against this massive fire by 200 Memphis firefighters here on this Friday morning in downtown Memphis.
In situations like this, you frequently get help from outside departments. We're working to confirm if that is the case. I have just learned from one of our reporters on the scene, Alexa Lorenzo, that firefighters are using their own drone to look for hot spots. So we're looking at these cameras. We have a drone out there, the Fox 13 drone. We don't want to interfere with what firefighters are doing. They have their own drone up looking for hot spots. And this is just one of several buildings in this apartment complex. We saw fire on another one spread earlier. They're trying to contain it to that part of the L shape where you see all the smoke.
Look at those flames inside.
This fire is far from being extinguished. This is happening on South Danny Thomas. Let's put it in perspective. Just southeast of the FedEx Forum, you're a block away from Beale Street. This is one of the busiest weekends in downtown Memphis every single year, and you have this situation happening right now.
What's happening inside, right there, we can't see a lot from Sky Fox, but that's what they're fighting against. They're trying to stop that from spreading.
Yes. I just got new word, too, from our reporter. There are no outside departments fighting right now. We have Memphis Light, Gas, and Water on the scene. We have the police department and more than 200 Memphis firefighters trying to put out this blaze and keep it contained. You know, one of the issues is with MLGW, you do have utility lines there. This building was supposed to open in a matter of months, so you do have, you did have active electric. You know, they had to have the lights on. You had running water and that kind of thing. So they're there too. We're just watching this, and it's almost in a sense of disbelief that it's still so active and so intense. What, 2.5 hours after this fire broke out?
We're going to continue our live team coverage of this massive apartment fire in downtown Memphis as 200 Memphis firefighters are giving it all they have this morning to try and put this fire out.
This is their drone. We're looking at the screen from their drone that's flying over looking for the hot spots. And that's interesting to see. So we'll be right back, folks, with team coverage of this fire in downtown Memphis.
This is breaking news.
All right. We're still on the scene of a massive fire in downtown Memphis.
We've been covering this, folks, since the 6 o'clock hour. This fire at an apartment complex that's being built and is nearly complete broke out at 5:45 this morning. What you see behind us is a live look at what's happening right now. Let's tell you where exactly this is. It's just southeast of the FedEx Forum. It's a block off Beale Street on Danny Thomas. And it was unique in that it was going to be affordable, upscale housing for more than 200 people.
Yeah, the Forum Flats is what was going to be called, and I guess it will be called once they get it, but a big delay obviously now with this massive fire destroying at least one building, or at least one section of one building down there right in the heart of downtown.
I think that we have a firefighter who's talking. Is that what I'm hearing, folks? That will talk to us right now? Is that what we're going to? Here we go. Let's listen in.
It's basically under control, which means that we have stopped the spread of fire, and now we're just pushing back to the fire and making sure we knock down the rest of the fire. And then what we'll have to do is we'll have to leave the scene safe, so we'll have to determine if there's any more part of the building that we need to take down so that we can have scene security. There'll be an investigation, and of course we're working with the contractors to make sure that they can get back in here and have a safe environment to work in.
I heard something about potentially cutting some holes in the roof. What's all that about?
So what we do is they're actually on the roof right now doing a trench cut, and what that is they cut from one end of the building to the other, and that way we can get in there and get water on it and keep the fire from spreading any further. So the main building that was on fire is the primary building, had 103 apartments, I'm told. It was an L-shaped building. We basically cut the fire off and stopped it at the L, and that's what they're doing now.
Sorry, tell me about all the moving parts associated with battling this huge blaze. I mean, you've got a huge presence on Danny Thomas. You had MLGW out here. You got crews here on vans. You got ladder trucks. This is just a huge presence.
It is. It's that's why we call it firefighting. It's a fight. It's a battle, and even though it may look like chaos, it's organized chaos. We know where everybody is. We have people in each. We have chief officers in each division to assure that everybody's operating in a safe area and that they're being safe. We also have a police presence here to keep any civilians. We have a lot of people that like to get a little closer than they should. So the police were here early, and they're protecting our equipment, our personnel from traffic coming through, but they're also making sure that no civilians get in there and get a little closer than they should.
And you have eyes from above.
Just putting water on it. There's a lot more to it than just.
Absolutely. It's actually a battle. Just like when you go to war, it takes a lot of resources to battle a fire like this. We're very fortunate to have some really good resources, but none of that equipment works if you don't have firefighters with grit and grind, just like Memphis is known for, and that's what the Memphis Fire Department is.
And those firefighters with grit and grind, they have kind of that drone above. Is that how you kind of determine those hot spots, what's going on, those are your eyes from above?
So this is new technology that we're just really starting to learn how to use. So we do have a drone that has a thermal imaging camera on it that can detect hot spots in the roof, and we've deployed it this morning. We didn't get it here as early as we wanted to, but it's in the air now, so this is a really good training opportunity for us to be able to use the drone and to realize what it's actually capable of.
How long have you been training for that drone to make its debut?
We've probably been working on that for the past year.
And now seeing it kind of play out, come to fruition, getting to use it, what's that like, seeing how helpful it can be?
So my job is to make sure that our firefighters and our paramedics make sure that they have the resources they need to get the job done. I appreciate, the city administration gives me that opportunity to be proactive and forward thinking. Drones are a new tool in the fire service that are being deployed across the country, and we're at the cutting edge. And that's one of the things you'll always find. The Memphis Fire Department is cutting edge in the firefighting and EMS industry, and a lot of people watch Memphis and see what we're doing here.
Without this drone, how would you determine these hot spots with it being such a high-rise in the building?
Well, we would still have been able to accomplish that task. The drone just is an avenue to do it without actually putting manpower in elevated positions or having to use them. So we would have got the task done anyway. We've been doing it for 173 years, but the drone actually does give us another tool in our toolbox to use when we need it.
You had over 100 manpower out here from all over the city. How important is it, they're all from different districts, different areas, but they come together as one and basically, work together on something this big? How is that, I guess, how important is it that they're able to mesh as well as they do?
Right. We train for this. This is what we do. We're prepared for this. We train every day. We have at least 2 hours of training in every fire station across the city every day, in addition to everything else they do. We prepare for this. They call this the brotherhood, because that's what we do when things get on fire. We get together and we take care of business the way it's supposed to be done.
Just want to confirm, you only have Memphis Fire Department battling this. Collierville's not involved, Germantown?
No, we are fortunate. We are very well resourced, especially in the downtown area. So there are resources from all across the downtown, midtown area here, but we're here handling it ourselves.
Just your final message to your firefighters, what a good job they did, your firefighters' families, and letting them know that they're all safe. What do you want to tell the people back at home?
Right. I just want to say, to the families there at home, thank you for sharing your loved one with us. We're here. We'll make sure that we keep them safe. And to our firefighters, they make me proud every day, but I'm really proud this morning because they did an outstanding job to make sure that this loss was kept to a minimum.
Thank you very much.
This may seem like a dumb question, but I notice you have fire investigators here now. Is there anything that this scene, like we see the white billowing smoke, is there anything that this scene is telling them now that's going to help them in their investigation before they can actually get in and actually see what played out, causes, etc.?
Well, so, the investigators are here because this is obviously a large commercial building that's a loss, and the insurance adjusters will be in town and then that type of thing. And this is just protocol, it's just standard operating procedures. They're here to try to determine what caused this fire, to work with the construction company.
Good information there. The fire director, Chief Gina Sweat, said this fire is under control. They have managed to keep the flames from going to that other building.
Yeah, she said they cut it off at the L, which is what we were saying they were trying to do when we were looking up on top that roof. They were trying to cut it off, and that was the L where they were so intensely fighting those flames inside that building.
She called that a trench cut, and she said she's really proud of our firefighters. Our firefighters with grit and grind. This is not over, folks, and we'll be back with more live after this.
It's breaking news.
And we've been on breaking news since around 6 o'clock this morning, a massive apartment fire in downtown Memphis. Nobody injured.
That's the good news. This is what's happening. It's behind us. This is from one of our crews on the ground. You can see at least one block of buildings at the Forum Flats near the FedEx Forum has been destroyed by fire. There's still a lot of smoke. Undoubtedly, there are still flames inside the building, but man, Memphis firefighters, 200 strong, have done an incredible job getting this massive fire under control.
And this apartment complex ultimately is going to be, I think you used the word upscale and affordable housing units. And part of the city sort of, bringing affordable housing to the downtown area, replacing some of the foot homes, for example, not this particular project, but all part of that grand vision for the city to bring affordable housing to downtown.
We have a little relief right now because it is under control. We just talked to the fire director, Chief Gina Sweat, and she said they built a trench in there to kind of keep the fire to that one building. But 20 minutes ago, we watched this together as crews on the roof, as you see there, firefighters were literally tamping out fire on that second building. Alexa Lorenzo on the scene said it's confirmed that the fire did start to spread to 2 other buildings. They extinguished it before it could do any major damage. Yeah, and as we were watching that intense firefight, literally they were trying to stop it from spreading to the other portion of that L, and they, as the fire director said, cut it off at the L. We'll be right back, and we will continue our team coverage. Stay with us.